Welcome here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora in this very special edition of the Bearcat Breakroom. I am honored and privileged to be with you inside of the Heritage Hill Studios and Binghamton University, our partnership, exclusive multimedia marketing partnership, providing for you weekly content with Binghamton University's student athletes, coaches, and administration throughout the year. I'm picture in picture with Jadyn Weltz here of the Binghamton Bearcats women's basketball program. For the first time ever, I get to welcome Jadyn to the show. So, Jadyn, how are you?
Good. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely, and your hair is a little bit longer than mine. So, I was like, I'm noticing that. So, not everybody grows it out these days. So, I have to ask this because it's on my brain because I appreciate hairstyles and whatnot. Do you
Yeah.
keep it? Will that be that long for the games? And how do you wear it when it comes to game day?
Yeah, absolutely. It definitely will be this long. I like to grow out my hair, and then sometimes I just like to cut it short out of nowhere. But yeah, for games I like to keep it long because I like to change up my hairstyles. A lot. I've had fans and family friends come up to me and say, what is your hair gonna look like the next game? And I'm not really ever sure, but I like to switch it up from braids, ponytails, and buns. So yeah, the long hair will definitely stay for the season.
You said buns. I got to ask you a controversial
Yeah.
question. Is the man bun okay?
I think many people can definitely pull it off, so I don't want to cancel it just yet because I have seen some people do it. So yeah, if you can rock it, it's all right.
My answer is no. So it's a very plain and simple no. But yeah. So in when we look at going into the basketball side of things and what's coming up now, you and I were talking a little bit off the air, but I want to get into something really interesting, and it's something off the beaten path that is a really cool story. Now, Denai Bowman has been on the show a ton, and I definitely have already pushed for her. I know she just finished, but I already pushed for her to be in the Bearcat Hall of Fame. I talked to John Hartrick, who oversees it. He said that that is a no question thing. So I told Denai, I said, you're getting in, because if you don't get in, I don't understand what the Binghamton University Hall of Fame would be. So you spent some time with Denai, obviously, as a teammate over these past few seasons, but you've also spent time with her elsewhere. And there's this whole world of being in Thailand and Indonesia together and hiking through these beautiful sites that most people only see on Instagram. So I want you to bring me into, first and foremost, your relationship with Denai Bowman and how did all of this come about?
Yeah, absolutely. Danae and I go way back for the past 3 years, not only as teammates but as friends, as you say. We spent a lot of time together, both on and off the court, and I'm proud to say I would consider her one of my closest friends. Evidently, traveling across the world, you have to be a little bit close with the person, but no, I value her as a person and a player very much, and I think that I decided she was kind of the person I wanted to, embark on this adventure with, just because of the close bonds and memories we've shared over the years, and to
Yeah.
kind of, as the last hurrah before she left me in Binghamton, I think we decided we wanted to go on a trip, and we weren't really sure what that trip would look like, but after some influence from some of my family members and just kind of the dream to travel to these unique places, we decided that we would go to Thailand and Indonesia.
And this just happened,
Yeah,
very,
yeah,
very recent in May,
yeah,
right?
yep, May, end of May.
So yeah, so I'm looking at this right now, making this decision to go and do this. Why? I know you said your friendship dictated the fact that you wanted to do this with Danae if you're going to do it with anybody, but why this specific trip? I know I'm looking at for 3 weeks in May, you went hiking in Thailand and Indonesia and just kind of getting away here to have this trip, which obviously created a lot of new memories for you both. Why these places? Why go hiking? Why this trip, which was almost a month overseas? You said that it was easy to pick Danae because of how close you are, but bring me into the why for the trip.
Yeah. So this trip was definitely a different experience, one that I've never had. It was a backpacking trip. So everything we needed for the span while we were gone was in the comforts of a backpack. So I knew I couldn't just pick anybody. Definitely somebody that could be very minimalistic with their choice of clothing. But also just somebody that I knew would want to be active and, like to go hiking and enjoy kind of the physical activity behind it. The reason we chose these spots is because we actually met my sister and her friend on this trip, and they had kind of done most of the planning, and they had chosen this just as also a dream bucket list kind of location for them.
Yeah.
So we ended up meeting them a week into their travels and just kind of worked through the itinerary as a group of four and decided what we wanted to do, what we wanted to see, and just went from there.
And some background on this for those that don't know, and I definitely didn't. Thailand is a country located in Southeast Asia, 8,800 miles and 11 time zones away from Binghamton University. It's part of the Indo-Chinese Peninsula and borders the nations of Laos, Cambodia, and Vietnam. Located just 15 degrees north of the equator, Thailand has a tropical climate with an average temperature between 66 to 100 degrees Fahrenheit. There's a little bit of a difference there. Indonesia is a nation located directly south of Thailand, and it consists of between 17,000 to 18,000 islands and borders both the Pacific and Indian Oceans. Indonesia is located right on the equator, and its islands make up the 14th largest nation in the world by area. Bring me into the sights and sounds and just what these 3 weeks, because I mean, most people that are watching and listening, especially those people in upstate New York and in the Northeast, a lot of them probably have no idea what Thailand and Indonesia look like, let alone have been
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, absolutely. Myself, I'm from Canada, so this was just like out of the ballpark of what I'm used to. Like you said, the temperatures can certainly get up there, and we were definitely blessed with beautiful weather while we were there. So definitely a lot warmer that time of year than it was in upstate New York, but
Yeah.
just the climate itself was beautiful, but also just the scenery. Everywhere you go, you're looking at waterfalls, you're looking at mountains, you're looking at jungles, and even their animals that they have just roaming around is so unique to what we're used to. It's not deer and squirrels, it's elephants and monkeys. So I mean, that was just itself was just such an experience, and being able to kind of put ourselves in that situation and just see what their life and their perspective looked like was really interesting and really moving to be a part of.
You said that this whole trip was born out of Emma having this on her bucket list, your sister. So when she said to you, like, hey, let's do this, I already got my friend coming, and then you reach out to Denai, when did you know that I mean, how long did you know that this was kind of on your sister's bucket list? And when she approached you about it, how quickly did it take for you to go, yeah, why not? It's the summer, I got some time.
Yeah, it definitely started as a joke. They had been planning this for long before Danae and I decided to join. I think it was Christmas. I went home and they were kind of talking about their plans, and I was just sitting there kind of listening in, and I was like, yeah, what if I just come? Like, that would be fun. Like, what if I just hopped on the plane and joined you? And they were like, no, like you should. Like, no, all jokes aside, you should look into it.
Yeah.
So I started looking at flights, and then I was like, well, would I go alone? Would I bring someone? And that's kind of when I knew Danae's love for travel and her aspirations for travel started becoming more visible to me. So I thought, like I said, as one last memory before parting ways for a little bit, it would be exciting to bring her along. So it started as kind of a joke and maybe not so serious about it, but then we started looking at flights and kind of how it would be possible, and with exam schedules and school and basketball all considered. So when things started to align and work out, we said why not, and we took the opportunity.
Yeah, it's funny because so many people will say they're going to do something, right? They're, oh yeah, like you said, oh, I should come along, and someone goes, oh yeah, you should, and then it just kind of disappears. This is one of those live in the moment. don't regret things, don't look back, look forward type of thing. Has this always been your personality? Has it always been who you are, Jadyn, as a person, to just kind of in the moment, if you believe that something's right, if you believe that something would be a great experience for you, are you one of those fly by the seat of your pants, like, hey, let's just go do it? I don't want to think about it too much. I just want to kind of, because I mean, school had just finished up. And so
Yeah.
to be in a situation like this for you, are you that type of spontaneous, living in the moment type of person?
So, all honesty, before this trip, I would tell you probably not. I've been very organized, like need to have a plan, need to know what we're doing, like love itineraries and scheduling. And I think this whole journey has kind of taught me that I do want to, embrace that live in the moment type personality more. And I think ever since deciding I wanted to do that trip, I've kind of lived that out a little bit, which has been fun. Definitely still love my routine and my organization part of myself, but yeah, I like you said, like why not do it? I'm only this age once. I only get this opportunity maybe once to kind of do it, and if I was able to do it, I might as well. So I think my sister's great for that, and I think she probably rubbed off on me a little bit to kind of join her, but I think I've learned a lot about myself in that journey, and just kind of living my life is what I want to do moving forward, and hopefully that if an opportunity like this comes again, I'll take it with no hesitation.
Yeah, and like you said beforehand, you would have said maybe you're not this type of person, but after the fact of this experience, what did taking this trip with Danae and with your sister and really all four of you together, with obviously your sister having had planned the trip with a friend already, what did this do to kind of unlock something in you? If you're leveling up essentially and expanding your horizons, who's Jadyn Weltz today as opposed to who Jadyn Weltz was a couple months ago?
Yeah, I definitely would say I still like to plan things out, but this taught me, like, if you want to do something, just do it, be in the moment. Like there was a lot of times maybe we didn't have a plan for the day, then we saw something cool we wanted to do on the street or through an excursion or something like that, and we just kind of took that opportunity, and we thought, why not? We're here. You don't travel all that way to just sit in a hotel room, so we really wanted to get out and explore, and I think that's the type of person I've always been, is one that loves to try new things, that loves to explore, that loves to get outside of my comfort zone, and just try things because I have the ability to do so. So I think moving forward and sitting here today, I can say that I'm somebody that is not afraid to get pushed outside their comfort zone, and who's not afraid to take risks and try things just because I might not get that opportunity to do it again. So,
And getting this opportunity to do it with a teammate and a friend, Denai Bowman, knowing that the bittersweetness of you're taking this trip, but when you get ready for this upcoming season, Danae will not be there on the team. She's finished up her time. You have a couple of years left that you can play college basketball. So as you get set for another season as a Binghamton Bearcat on the women's basketball squad, what does that kind of do to factor into all of this? Looking at Danae saying, yeah, I mean, obviously we're going to be friends forever and we could do things together, but knowing that this is the only time that you both can say that you took a trip coming off of a basketball season together in the sense of college, because she won't be on the team next season after she's finished up her time.
yeah, it's a really special feeling, honestly. Like you said, it was kind of that last moment we could share in that position together. But I give a lot of credit to her. She's been a great friend to me. She's been a great leader and a great mentor for me on this basketball team and in life. Honestly, I think she's prepared me in ways she doesn't even know, and she's kind of passed the torch along to me, and I get to watch her succeed in her life and move forward in her journey, and I get to keep living out the one that she just left. So I mean, I think a lot of her wisdom and her knowledge has hopefully, since she might be a Hall of Famer one day, has spread to me a little bit, and that I can kind of keep working on what she started and keep growing the Binghamton name the way that she did.
And you look at Denai being a guard on the team, you're a guard as well. I want to give a shout out to the fact that I'm 5'8", you're 5'7", and I appreciate everybody that lives in that world. I want some respect to be put on those names, but just what you could say about the upcoming season and what you love about being in the backcourt playing basketball.
Yeah, being a guard's not easy, especially when you're 5'7" and a predominantly tall sport. But you find ways to make it work, and that's kind of what I like about. I mean, I'm a guard, sometimes point guard, and I just kind of like, getting to see the game at a different perspective and being, the one to control the offense, the one to bring everybody in, and just trying to be that leader on the court. And I'm excited for this season. We have some new faces, some new teammates, and I'm excited to see what we can do and how my role on the team can contribute to our success in the future.
When you're going through change, and like you said, you're a planner, but you can't plan everything. And this trip obviously showed you that. Another thing that you can't plan is you had last season with Beth Ann Shapiro-Ord as your head coach. This season, you have Mary Grimes. She spent 3 years as Lemoyne's head coach, and before that had 2 stints as an assistant. And seeing what she's done in her time at Lemoyne, making a national postseason tournament in all 3 of those 3 seasons, including this transition to D1. Mary Grimes comes there with her staff, and in putting that staff together, there's also transfers that come in, including Kaya Good, who was playing for her at Lemoyne. So what can you say about this transitionary moment? And as you just went on a trip where you couldn't prepare for everything, knowing that on the basketball court at Binghamton and in life, you can't prepare for changes, and knowing that you have a new coaching staff as well as some transfers coming in.
Yeah, I think I touched on a little bit earlier. I said I'm not one to kind of shy away from fear or change or discomfort in any way. So I think moving forward, change is not a bad thing. And I'm excited for this opportunity to get to do what I love to do. And I'm just going to keep looking through the front mirror of the front window of the car and not in the rear view mirror. And I think that being able to just show up and work hard and contribute to my role as much as I can is what's important, and not dwelling on anything or, living in fear and, not knowing what's going to happen and living in uncertainty is just going to hold me back and, delay some time for my own success and our team's success. So I think, moving forward with the changes that we have, I'm just going to embrace them and take every day as an opportunity to get better, to help my team, to help myself, and honestly, to get a winning championship at the end of the day.
Yeah, we know that you obviously have some time there to do that. Bearcat Breakroom here with Jadyn Weltz, coming to us from the Binghamton Bearcats women's basketball program on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside of the Heritage Hill Studios. Before we get into rapid fire, where you and I get to put each other on the hot seat, I want to go specific Thailand, specific Indonesia. Bring me into Thailand, and I want to know the best moments specifically from Thailand. And you talked about animals in sight. So I want to know the best moments in Thailand, and I want to know the coolest animal and the scariest get away from me animal that you saw in Thailand.
All right. Yeah, I got it already unlocked. So Thailand was beautiful. Everything from scenery to the food. Food I could talk on for an hour alone, but it was just amazing. Coolest animal was definitely an elephant. We got the chance to bathe and feed elephants, so that was surreal. Scariest animal would be a poisonous scorpion or a poisonous snake that we were within a couple feet of. So that wasn't my favorite experience, being petrified of snakes, but it's okay. So that was exciting. And then Indonesia, we did a lot of hiking there, and my favorite hike was actually a sunrise hike. So we woke up at, I think, 3 a.m, drove an hour, and then hiked up a volcano/mountain for the sunrise. So we got to sit there and enjoy food at the top of the summit and just watch the sunrise. So I think those 2 moments were kind of separated themselves from the rest of the trip, and just hold a special place in my heart.
What scenario puts you within a couple feet of a poisonous snake and a poisonous scorpion?
So the scorpion just happened to actually be on a street somewhere. Like we were going from our hotel to the main street and there was a little walking path and it was just hanging out, not doing its own thing. The snake was in a hiking trail to a waterfall. Luckily we had a tour guide there who had been doing it for years and he said, yeah, don't worry, I know where to look. And he pointed it out. So thank God we could go around it, and he knew what he was doing, so that was good. But yeah, Denai gets a crack out of this every time she thinks about it. But I was shaking in my boots. I was so scared. But yeah, no, she had a good laugh out of that one. But yeah.
I was gonna say, are there snakes in Canada?
No, garden snakes maybe, but other than that,
Yeah.
not really. Yeah.
And now you're from Ontario, and
Yeah.
so I am I don't know if you knew this going into this conversation, but I have had a connection to Canada since I was a little boy. And let me see if I can grab it's all over the studio, but let me grab it like this to just let something be very known. It's 3 words, but I think it brings my clarity.
Ah, yes, of course, of course.
So I've been a Raptor fan since the beginning of the beginning of the beginning. So I have to ask you, are you being from Ontario, are you Raptored out? Are you Toronto fan all the way across the spectrum of whatever? But where do you stand? Are you a Raptor fan? I know, I mean, you're playing the sport of basketball. We just found out that there is going to be a WNBA franchise starting in 2026 in Toronto. So would love to get your thoughts on Toronto, Ontario, Canada having a professional women's basketball team. And I selfishly want to know if you're a Raptor fan.
Yeah, I definitely am a Raptors fan. Have been since I was little. I will always play that memory of Kawhi Leonard's shot in my brain for as long as I live. Like that was the peak of Canada, I think, that exact moment. I'm very excited for the WNBA team. I know a lot of people in that circuit and even just people in the organization, I think that will do a great job and will really show, everyone what Canada can do and kind of bring to the table. So I think that's exciting for sure. And don't watch a lot of Maple Leafs, but I'll support them if they go far. And but I was rooting for the Oilers this year, but it's all right, maybe next time. But yeah, definitely try and support Canadian teams as much as I can, even if I don't watch every game. But yeah.
Well, you gave the correct answer when you said that you're a Raptor fan.
Yeah,
So
there you go.
now, when it comes to being in Canada and calling that home, you're not too far away in upstate New York. I'm sure the cold and the snow makes you feel all at home as well. But to represent Canada to me it's really important. And knowing that it's just a few hours away, I've been all different parts of Canada. But like I said, I mean, I've defended the Raptors since they announced the logo in 1994 and came into the league in 95. So having that be your home, having Ontario be your home, Canada be your home, what has that meant to you throughout your life to represent that country? And to know that there's this unique relationship between the United States and Canada, that, there is this National Basketball Association and the Women's National Basketball, but there is representation from your country. So just what it means for you to be Canadian and to rep it the way that you rep it. And I know that that's a long-winded question, but I love Canada. So
Yeah, no, so do I. Yeah, I definitely am proud to be Canadian. Like you said, it's where I'm from. It's all I've ever known really before coming here for school and basketball. Yeah, and it's just a different type of opportunity and honor to be able to, I have played for different teams in the past that was able to represent my country, and just that feeling is unmatched. And like you said, it's very similar to the United States, but it still will always be different in a little way for me because that's my home. And um, yeah, just the memories I have growing up and the people I've met and the opportunities it's given me, and even now with these new teams being brought to Canada, it's exciting, and the Olympics are coming up, so I will be wearing my Maple Leafs for all that, and hopefully we get to represent ourselves even more. But yeah, I'm definitely a proud Canadian, and I do love being there when I get the chance.
That coming here from Jadyn Weltz on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside the Heritage Hill Studios in this edition of the Bearcat Breakroom, Binghamton University Bearcats women's basketball guard. Jadyn, it's time to play rapid fire. We can literally ask each other anything in the world. Doesn't have to be sports related. We do have to answer it. You, as a student athlete, never get to ask questions. So I'm going to give you the first opportunity. You can ask me whatever you want.
What is your favorite food?
Oh my goodness. Oh, well, I can say that I had no idea what poutine was, and then I found out what it was, and it's incredible. But
Yeah.
my favorite food, jeepers, I honestly, I like things that the more you could put in it, the better. So I would probably say like nachos for the reality that I love making them at home. I do homemade guac. I season the chicken myself. So I think you can always like stack nachos. You can never have enough and you can like do whatever you want to do with them. So I'm going to say nachos because you can put chicken on them, beef, shrimp, obviously lettuce, cheese, black beans, olives, jalapenos. There's a lot of good things that you could do with it. I like when the more the better to the party. I'm not a picky eater, so I'm probably going to say nachos just because a good pile of them that you make at home that like you can that they're healthier obviously for you when you're making them at home. I I I think that that's a really good snack and or meal. So I'll pick nachos.
Good choice. I like it. I like it.
I know you like food and you've made mention of it a couple times. So I'm going to hit you with this one. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner for the rest of your life. You one breakfast, one lunch, one dinner. Anything can be on the plate. It doesn't have to be one specific thing. But I want to know if you could only eat one breakfast, one lunch, one dinner every single day, what would it be?
Oh, that's tough. Okay. Breakfast, I'm gonna go with like an acai bowl or like a smoothie bowl.
Okay.
Um, to get specific, toppings would be banana, peanut butter, granola, and coconut flakes.
Okay.
Could eat it every day. Lunch is very tough. I'm not a huge lunch lover. So
Okay.
it's really whatever I got available, but I'll go with maybe like a I don't know, some sort of like I'm gonna go with either a chicken sandwich, or like maybe a burrito bowl of some kind or a bowl of some kind. Yeah, I'm not sure. And dinner, I would go with every day for the rest of my life. Some sort of pasta. I'm not sure what that answer is, but like maybe like some spaghetti and meatballs one night, and I don't know. I'm gonna go with pasta. Yeah.
All right. Well, being Hispanic and Italian, you and I both gave answers that fit both categories. So, but I will say the breakfast bowl that you said, everything about that is yes. You said banana,
Yeah.
peanut butter, oats, coconut flakes. That is 100% a correct answer.
Yeah,
What's your,
thank you.
what's
I thought so.
your, what's your second question for me?
um oh, this is on topic, but if you could travel to any place in the world, where would it be and why?
Well, I think after hearing about Thailand and Indonesia a little bit, I probably would want to go there to be completely honest. But I would also say that I know I've said this before, but I mean, it's my answer. I want to go to Spain and Italy. I want to see my family and I
Mhm.
want to know where we came from. I've been in touch with my family from Spain. So I would definitely love to see where it all started for my family, what they're up to, what they're doing, and build connection. Heritage is really important to me, so that's a really easy answer for me.
Awesome.
My
Nice.
question, thank you. My question back to you, I've never asked this before. Canada is known as being a nice nation. What part of Canada is the meanest?
uh, oh gosh, this could get really, I could get canceled, I feel like, if I say the wrong thing. I don't know. I like to think many people I've met are really, really nice. Like, I've never really had too many terrible interactions in my life. I don't know. Maybe I'll just go as a generic statement. I'll go as the bigger cities. Like, I just feel like, like kind of like New York City, how there's always so much going on that everybody's in a rush and you kind of don't have time to slow down ever. So maybe I'll just, as a generic statement, go with like bigger cities in Canada because everyone's just stressed out, I think.
I wanted you to like be like, when you go to Winnipeg.
Yeah. No, I can't give an exact spot, but I would say bigger cities just because there's always so much at stake and everybody's always rushing around.
Okay, that's fair. I always say that Toronto is New York City if it smelled good and people were nicer. What is your and so many people have dogs in Toronto as well. What is your final question for me?
If you could have one superpower, what would it be and why?
I love superheroes. So, and I was in The Amazing Spider-Man 2 as an extra in Andrew Garfield's movie. So,
Oh, that's cool.
and Spider-Man is my favorite,
Oh,
but I will say I've always felt a connection with angels, so I want to have wings. Either that or teleportation. I would love the opportunity to be here right now and then just like close my eyes and I'm hiking in
yeah.
Indonesia. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like how crazy
Yeah.
would that be to be able to do something? And you and I talked about how much we love food. Think about if we could just blink and be in Italy eating pasta, blink again and be in Thailand, blink again and be,
Oh, man. Life
eating,
would be good.
right?
Life would be
Barbecue in
so good.
Texas and shit like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think we need to do something like teleportation Tuesdays or something like that, where we can figure out a way to get an NIL deal where you and I can do a food show and travel and get to try the food.
No, I would do that. I would do that in a heartbeat. Sign me up right now. Seriously. That's
So
my dream. It's just to try every different, culture's food and stuff like that. But
well,
yeah.
and I love cooking and I love doing like I do this thing called More Than a Broadcaster. So I think I think if we can find some way to work this in, I think a teleportation thing where we could go get food is that would be the way to go to try the
Yeah.
world's food. Hmm. My last question for you has got to be about this in some way. So you've been to Indonesia, you've been to Thailand, obviously you grew up in Canada, you're in New York. What is one place that you would want to go to either in the States or out of the States? A place that you want to go to for a specific food. So somebody has told you something, you've read something, you've seen something. Tell me the place, tell me the food that you haven't had yet that you want to.
Oh, that's tough. So I love Italian food and I love Greek food, but I thankfully have been able to visit both those places and I would go back in a heartbeat to enjoy that again. But somewhere I've never been, I would say either Spain or maybe like Vietnam would be interesting to taste. Or maybe like Japan for Japanese cuisine. Yeah, something like that. One of those three. Maybe, yeah, Spain. Maybe I'll go Spain and Japan.
I can tell you that I had a Spanish seafood salad and I just got it saying I wasn't in Spain. It was a Spain inspired from something that Walt Disney World does. And I had this seafood salad that just so happened to have octopus in it. And it was really, really good. And people didn't want
Yeah,
to eat it because they didn't like the look of it. But it was like it was genuinely it was meaty. It wasn't like
yeah.
slimy or anything. And ever since I've had octopus from there, I'm like, man, I would jump at the opportunity to have octopus again.
Yeah. I'm a strong believer of don't knock it till you try it. And like I've said, I've loved food and I'm not picky at all. I won't say I don't like something until I've given it a couple chances. And there's been a lot of times like on these trips, especially that I kind of look at something, I'm like, I don't know if I'm gonna really like that, but I tried and I love it. So you never know until you try, really.
Yeah, you don't. It's you got to give it a shot. That's why I always like I know when I'm around picky eaters.
Yeah.
And when I'm around them and they're like, where do you want to go for dinner? Whether it's family, friends, I literally just tell them, pick a place and let me know because the energy and time that it will take me
Yeah.
to hear you say no, because I mean, I can eat anywhere and really honestly try almost anything, which I have. And I feel like when you do, as you know this, when you're open to trying things, your palate expands, your life expands, and in all honesty, you get to try really good food that most people probably were too afraid to try. So all I'm saying is be open, people. Jadyn Weltz
Yeah.
here with us. Thailand, Indonesia, the world is your oyster, especially if you want to try those. So with that said, for Jadyn Weltz and of course a nod as well to somebody that I also appreciate very much, Denai Bowman, to the upcoming season with women's basketball at Binghamton University. Jadyn, this has been your first Bearcat Break Room, but I hope that we get to do this again. And time flew by, so I thank you for it. But I definitely appreciate that, and for you to have so few years on the earth, and yet you have been to so many places that people have never even dreamt of. I would say keep that personality, keep that energy, and keep traveling because I think it's really amazing to be able to share that today.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. And I also hope that I get the opportunity to be here again. So keep me in mind if you ever need somebody else to chat to.
Hey, listen, 5'7" to 5'8"ers, we got to take care of that. So
Yeah.
you'll always have a place
Awesome.
with Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.